edition of Double the Innocence with your boy E-Dub. Dropping gems and taking absolutely no prisoners. Live and direct, people. Live and direct. Today's Saturday, February 10th. Beautiful day out here in the streets of Montreal. And I figured I'd come up here and spend a little bit of time with whoever's got a little bit of time to spend with me. Let's talk about a few things, man. I'm sure by now you guys have gotten the opportunity to see that interview with Club Shay Shay and Monique. What you guys think? If you've noticed, she happens to be calling a lot of the same names that Cat Williams called. She even added one more name to it. She named DL Hughley as one of the individuals that seems to be into some wrongdoing there. Although I know that that's probably something personal between her and him, because I haven't heard anybody else have anything at all to say about DL Hughley, so it could just be a personal thing. But I don't know, man. For some strange reason, the way she was delivering what she had to say, it sounded pretty believable. Especially the part that she when she was talking about Kevin Hart. Yeah, that seemed pretty honest. That seemed like it was coming from a good place. I don't really think she was lying about that one. Which unfortunately is kind of a little bit disappointing, because like it sheds a little bit of a different light on Kevin Hart now. Unfortunately. He was an individual that, like I said, I had a lot of respect for. I enjoyed a lot of his stand-up. I enjoyed a lot of his movies. But then when you start finding out certain little ins and outs and all that kind of stuff, don't get me wrong, I still think he's very, very good at what he does. It's just my opinion of the individual has been altered a little bit. Where I would have been one that would have been more than willing to watch anything new that Kevin Hart came out with. Now I'm just, now I'd probably, you know, think twice. And unfortunately, I know I'm only one person, so I mean, me, if I decide to boycott somebody or whatever the case may be, I know it has negative effect on them, because I'm just one entity, one individual. But still, where it comes to certain individuals, where if I think that they did something which is really unjust, even if I am just one person and it makes no never mind, I still feel I need to do what I need to do when it comes to boycotting. Like, for example, Will Smith. I refuse to watch anything that Will Smith puts out there for a little while. He needs to be boycotted for a little while for what he did. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think no man has any right to slap any other man. It's not your child. And to me, that's the worst form of an insult, to be slapped by another man. It's one of the worst forms of insult. So when I saw that, that just left a very, very bitter, sour taste in my mouth. So, and because of that, refuse to touch anything that Will Smith does. Don't care what it is. I won't be one to support it. Not for now, anyways. And I'm an individual that grew up with Will Smith. From even before he started acting, I was part of Jazzy Jazz and Fresh Prince. You understand, when he was just making music and he was known as a clean rapper. Yeah, that was my guy. And then when he moved and started to do Fresh Prince of Bel-Air on TV, I was one of the biggest supporters. I don't think I missed one episode. So for me to say I'm turning my back on an individual is because I think he did something terribly unjust to another man. that shares the same color skin as you do. It's not right. And I put myself in that particular position to say, like, yo, Chris Rock is a bigger man, a bigger and better man than I could ever possibly be, because I don't know if I would have been able to hold myself together, knowing that a man just slapped me, number one, and then slapped me in front of the world. I don't know, man. I don't know. That, I believe, is just totally ridiculous, and I don't think that's right. First of all, I don't think anybody should be putting hands in anybody's face. That's number one. I don't think nobody should be putting their hands in anybody else's face, especially when it comes to slapping somebody. Whether you're a man or a woman, I don't think it's right. But I think it's the worst type of disrespect when a man open hand slaps another man. I think it's blatant disrespect when a man or a woman spits in another human being's face. That's total disrespect. Those are things I think that people should be throwing some hands for. Plain and simple. That's just my personal opinion. And I'm not about violence in any kind of way right now. Like, honestly speaking, I would walk away from any altercations right now. At this stage I'm at in my life. But if you ever wanted me to meet you on the dance floor, try something like that. Try spitting in my face. You get a whole different beast at that particular point in time. So that being said, like I said, when I honestly think us as black people, when we see somebody of our color skin do terrible injustice to somebody else with our color skin, then I think us, the viewers, need to take a stance. And whatever that stance may be, if it's boycotting that particular individual for a little while, let them feel it, to let them know, like, yo, you know what? Nah. It should be all for one and one for all. And because you took it upon yourself to violate one of ours, you need to be put back in your place. And the only way to put them back in their place is to make sure they feel it in their pocket. So if it's actors, let them feel at the box office when you're not supporting their films, when you're not supporting their Netflix specials. If it's somebody playing sports, well, I mean, I think the only way that they could really feel it is when we do what we're doing right now. We take to social media and we express the way we feel about a particular individual, about how we feel they're playing, how we feel they may or may not be cheating the league. Yes. But all that to say, I think that we need to start taking a stance to injustice that's done to our own, by our own. I was in some pretty heated discussions past couple of days because I issued a little bit of an apology to LeBron James, the businessman, not the basketball player, the businessman. And yeah, there was a few individuals, especially some of the people that know me, that enjoyed watching me eat that crow. Hey, I'd like to think I'm an individual that if I am wrong about something, I can be man enough to come here in front of the people that I made a certain statement to and admit my errors. I hope I could be that guy. But I want you guys to fully understand that my opinion about LeBron James, the basketball player, has not and probably never will change. I believe he's an overrated player. That's my personal opinion. Overrated. And because I say he's overrated, doesn't mean that I don't think he's good. It doesn't even mean that I don't think he's one of the greats. I just don't think that he's anything close to the greatest. And it's debatable, but I base it upon the body of work. I base it upon the work ethics. I base it upon the fundamental skills. I base upon an individual working with the team that the organization has given him to work with. I don't have that much patience for people that try to handpick their team of who they feel they should be able to play with. No, you should be able, if you are one of the greatest, you should be able to make the others around you great also. That's my personal opinion. And that's the reason why I cannot add LeBron James into the greatest conversation. And the more and more as the days go on, is the more and more there's more LeBron James supporters and less people standing up and representing for a Michael Jordan or a Kobe Bryant. But it's to be expected. You got to understand, because people like us are going to be extinct very soon. And it's the new generation, and what the new generation sees, that's what they're going to follow. A lot of the new generation only have highlights of Michael Jordan. They didn't have the opportunity to watch his career. They didn't have the opportunity to watch him grow into the beast that he was. They didn't have the opportunity to watch this man instill fear in other grown men by just walking into an arena. They didn't have that opportunity. So you can't really blame them. They're a victim to their own circumstances. They see what they see around them. So I'm not mad at that. Like I said, the only part that really irritates me with the new generation is the fact of the matter that they're going to look at our generation like as if we don't know what we're talking about. They're not going to take into consideration the fact of the matter that we had the opportunity to watch not only Michael Jordan come into the league from a rookie and build his career, we also had that same opportunity with LeBron James. So that's why we could be the one to afford to make that kind of comparison. And don't get me wrong, there's some people in my generation that believe that LeBron James is the best player. He's the greatest. He's the GOAT. I find that very, very weird, knowing that we were in the same era and you guys got to see the development of Michael Jordan. But hey, like I said, everything is all based upon an opinion, and everybody's entitled to their own personal opinion. There are no wrong opinions. They are opinions. The only thing that I have is, the only thing I want is when people come to me and tell me that LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan, I just like to hear the argument they have behind it, the facts that they have behind it. Like, for example, there was an individual that was on my chat, and we were going back and forth. I believe his name is Eastside D. We were going back and forth for a period of time, and he had some very substantial facts of why he backed LeBron James, why he felt LeBron James was the greatest. Because yes, there's some good arguments there. At the age of 39, to be able to be doing what he's doing, there are no other 39-year-olds that are doing what he's doing. He's absolutely correct. But Ticket TV brought something to my attention, and for those of you guys who don't have the opportunity to watch Ticket TV, I suggest you guys subscribe to his channel, because this guy is always one of the first to come out with anything that's happening in the NBA, and he's always right on, spot on. And that being said, Ticket TV had showed an interview that Kevin Garnett was part of. And even though Kevin Garnett didn't call no names, I mean, I think common sense will let you know basically who he was referring to. I mean, when you're talking about individuals that are not playing full seasons, because of the matter that they're playing only maybe 50, 60 games every season, that they are able to have a career lasting for 20, 25 years. Now, forgive me if I'm wrong. Is there any other athlete that's been playing for 20 years? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is his 21st year, and he hasn't said anything about retiring, so he will be there next year, 22nd, 23rd, to play with his son. If you guys didn't have the opportunity to listen to what Kevin Garnett said, I suggest you go watch that interview, because he had a lot of interesting facts. And it's stuff that makes a lot of sense. And what are we going to do? What are we going to say? Kevin Garnett doesn't know what he's talking about? Kevin Garnett was in the league. Kevin Garnett was LeBron James before LeBron James. Meaning that Kevin Garnett came into the league at the age of 18, right out of high school, just like LeBron James. Kevin Garnett was drafted by the Minnesota Timberwolves, where he was given the key to the city, just like LeBron James. The only difference is Kevin Garnett, he was a dog at the sport. He's another one I felt went a little bit overboard, but for other reasons. I felt he went a little bit overboard with the way in which he talked to people and the way in which he dealt with people, because he was an intense individual, but his intensity came out in a very ugly way. So those were my personal issues with Kevin Garnett. Garnett, the individual that played the game, I'll be honest with you, I couldn't stand him. But the effort that he put into that game, yeah. See, I mean, I'm a firm believer, and the main reason why you see I had any kind of issues with Kevin Garnett when he was playing is because I'm all for an individual being intense. Reason being because I consider myself to be a pretty intense individual. Especially when I played basketball, I consider myself to be intense. As a matter of fact, the more intense I was a better game that I would have. Didn't have to be ugly. You didn't have to talk about people's family. You didn't have to disrespect people to the highest degree. At least I didn't understand intensity that kind of way. That was Kevin Garnett. He was that guy. He was that guy that if you were his teammate, you were his brother, and he would basically take a bullet for you. But if you were somebody that played on any of the other teams, he saw you as an enemy. And because he saw you as an enemy, he would talk to you and say things to you that would be very disrespectful. Possibly to take you off of your game. But it's just stuff that I'm not about. I don't think that, again, I don't think that one man should be saying certain things like that to another grown man. Plain and simple. And I'm sure if you go back and you check, like, there's other players that played in the league that share the same opinion. I mean, one particular player that comes to my mind right now is Carmelo Anthony. Kevin Garnett had a few things to say to Carmelo Anthony about his wife. when Boston was playing the New York Knicks, because at that particular point in time, Carmelo Anthony was playing for the New York Knicks. Hey, like I said, Carmelo Anthony just happened to be one of those kind of guys that, yo, you know what? You stepped outside of this particular line, and he totally forgot that he was a basketball player. He totally forgot that he was an NBA basketball player. Carmelo Anthony was willing to take it to the streets. If you guys remember, where he went and got dressed and went and stood in front of the Boston Celtics bus waiting for Kevin Garnett? Yeah. But you know what? I respected that. Because every man at some point in time has to take the stance as a man. At some point in time. So with that being said, when you're disrespecting another man, you got to know that not every man is going to take that disrespect the exact same way. There are some people that are going to take it on the chin, and there are some people that are going to want to give it to you on your chin. Today is turning out to be a beautiful day. Saturday, Super Bowl weekend. I've given you guys my prediction. I'm going to say it again. I've had an entire week to think about it. I've had an entire week that if I choose to change my mind, I could have changed my mind, but I'm telling you guys right now, I don't know why, but I just have a very good gut feeling that the San Francisco Niners are going to put it to the Swifties. Oh, I'm sorry, the Kansas City Chiefs. I have a funny feeling that Purdy is going to have a decent game. I have a funny feeling that Debo is going to have a very good game. And I have a very good feeling that Metcalf is going to have an amazing game. And from what I remember, Kansas City is really not that good with the run. So Metcalf should have a good field day. I think a lot of society is really banking on the fact of the matter that they think Kansas City is going to win this game because of the fact of the matter that they've got Taylor Swift and the Swifties looking over them. And for that reason, I think San Francisco is going to shock the world. It's my opinion. And like I said, if I'm right, I want any individual that's heard this particular message come back in my chat and give me my props. Because not only did I predict the two teams that were going to be in the Super Bowl, but I predict the Super Bowl champion. So hey, give me my respect. There's Saturday night, if there's if you ain't got nothing to do. I mean, apparently there's some UFC tonight. I'm not sure exactly who's fighting. And if anybody knows if and when John Bones Jones is fighting again, please type it in the chat, let me know. That's my guy. That's my guy. It's my guy. As far as I'm concerned, he's the only UFC fighter that has yet to be defeated. Hey, you guys can say what you want. You guys can say whatever you want, but that one fight where you got disqualified, it wasn't no loss. He was winning that fight. He was absolutely destroying that guy. That's when they came down with the elbow. If you're doing it from 12 to 6, I believe, it's illegal. And that's why he got disqualified for that fight. So that's a one loss on his record. Ain't no loss as far as I'm concerned. But besides that, everybody else they put in front of him, he beat. Now, the only thing I'm worried about where he's concerned is that he hasn't fought in a very long time. So I think that there's going to be a lot of rust on him. Apparently, I know he has a fight coming up soon because he has to defend that title. I just don't know when that fight is, and I don't want to be one to miss it. So like I said, if any of you guys know when John Bones Jones is fighting again, please let me know. If any of you guys know when Conor McGregor is fighting again, please let me know, because nobody enjoys watching somebody get their ass kicked more than me. I love when Conor McGregor gets beat up, because I think he runs his mouth a little bit too much. So, especially when Khabib was able to close it, I was a happy camper. Very happy. I'm doing a little bit of a road trip right now, for work purposes that is, so I figured this would be my best time to go live, because I got a lot of time. And my live streams, like I said, it's all a work in progress. Starting to feel a little bit more comfortable with it. I'm starting to feel a little bit more comfortable with, you know, because at the beginning, I'll tell no word of a lie, live stream made me feel like I was just sitting down talking to myself. So it had a little bit of a weird feeling to it, but I'm okay with it now. I'm enjoying it now. If there's anything that anybody wants to come up here and say, feel free. Let me know what your Super Bowl predictions are for this weekend. Let me know if you think Kermit the Frog, I'm sorry, Patrick Mahomes could be MVP once again. And really and truly, he can. He's one of those kind of freak of nature quarterbacks. So, you know, when I see him making passes with both hands, stuff like that, that's not real quarterback like. So for him to be able to do stuff like that, you got to give him a lot of credit. A lot of credit. The only thing that ticks me off with this particular transport that my work gave me today is the simple fact of the matter that going back, it's going to be a little bit of a itch, because they're doing some work on the bridge going back, and the traffic jam, I just saw it on the other side. It's ridiculous, I tell you. But hey, got to do it. Take this opportunity to send some shout outs out to some other content creators that are doing it, and they're putting in the work and doing it real well. Ticket TV, got to give him all the credit in the world. I'm telling you, man, he's on fire. Casino for Life, Kwame Brown, Damn D, POV. Funny brother, man. I'm telling you, I watch it every time I watch anything he puts out, man. Has me in stitches. That being said, people, I appreciate the fact of the matter that you came up and spent a little bit of time with me. If you did have that time, if not, check out this feed a little bit later on. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Help this channel grow. We're doing some decent things over here. And please don't be shy. If you guys have an opinion that you want to put out there, even if it is something that's different from what I express, feel free to express it. I'm a firm believer that I could learn a lot. That's right. I could learn a lot from a dummy, and people could learn maybe a little something from this dummy right here. With that being said, I want you guys to have yourself a blessed day. Enjoy the rest of this Saturday. Have a good Saturday evening. And yo, get yourself ready for that Super Bowl, people. It should be good. San Francisco. Double the Innocence with your boy E. Double is out.